So in this lesson we're going to look at a modified version ultimately of the anchoring the breath exercise or the sinking the qi exercise. Two go hand in hand, don't they? Those exercises that draw the qi down towards the dantian, and it's been modified in order to assist people that have been suffering with, how do we say diplomatically, weakness in their breathing and weakness in their energy levels after they've had some kind of unnamed lengthy respiratory disorder. So if somebody has been sick with some kind of respiratory disorder, and it's left them with weakness in the lungs, weakness in their breathing, just lack of energy, lack of vitality, can't catch their breath. Hear a lot about people who have unnamed respiratory disorders, and then afterwards they have difficulty even walking up the stairs, they become breathless or something like this, and energy levels are low and they're wiped out for a long time. So what we need to do is we need to re-establish the qi in the correct places and anchor the lung qi down to the kidneys and then strengthen the kidneys in the dantian region. So I'm going to guide us through a simple sequence. It should help people return to a state of health after they've had an illness of this kind. So it's not to help with the illness itself, and people need to recover. It's to help with the kind of lingering symptoms that might last for a long time afterwards. So as always, we'll begin with sitting, and of course you might want to combine this if you're not used to my way of working with the anchoring the breath exercise anyway, till everything is anchored nice and low, but you can practice as a standalone exercise as well. So we'll begin just with a few minutes of sitting, and I'll guide you through this sequence. So just sitting with the spine upright, hands just lightly resting on the knees. If you prefer to sit in a chair, feel free. That's okay, as long as the spine is upright and the hands are on the knees, it's okay. Just lightly close the eyes and allow the body to breathe in and out through the nose of its own accord. And I just pay attention to the body and the breathing. I don't try to change anything, just pay attention. Okay, from here, I'm going to bring my hands up, and I bring them to the height of the clavicle. Common position in many of the foundational exercises within the Qigong aspect of the alchemy system I teach and practice. Lao Gong, the center of the palms is facing down. in order to assist with the descending of the qi, not trying to nourish the chest, trying to descend the qi. So it can be gripped by the dantian and the kidneys, so palms facing down. I listen inside the body and just pay attention to the inside of this space. Don't change, don't guide, don't lead, don't imagine, just listen. Palms facing down. Just continue to allow the body to breathe. And from here, I'm going to bring the hands down, slowly, relaxed, but not collapsed, okay? My palms are open to the height of the diaphragm, facing down, not too high, or the diaphragm can get tight. If this is the line of my diaphragm and my ribs, this is where my hands sit, palms facing down. This time I listen to the space underneath the hands, inside the abdominal cavity, with Lao Gong facing not in, but down. And just continue to breathe. And from here, my hands are going to go down. And I'm going to form Baiyuan. And it's like I'm containing the qi in the dantian. Right hand on top of left, thumbs touching. Okay. And Baiyuan, this mudra, has a little power, and it's not slack, it's not collapse. There's a little certainty, assertiveness in the shape. And then I bring the mind down to the dantian, which is behind the hand shape. And this will help to contain the qi in the dantian and ultimately to anchor the lung qi down towards the power of the dantian. This will help the breathing to deepen and anchor low. Just continue to allow the body to breathe and pay attention to the process. Okay, now I switch. So far, very similar to guiding the qi to the dantian exercises. Now it's going to change. I'm going to take my hands. Doesn't matter whether the right finger is in front or the left, doesn't matter, but I slide them up like so, this strange position. Then what I do is I pull them down. So there's almost like an interlocked feeling between the knuckles. So if I pull the hands, they're locked together in this position. And then I'm going to rest this in the lap so that it causes a stretch on the fingers. And what it starts to do is it actually pulls open the top section of the lung cavity. So it's starting to open up the chest. It's a subtle pull from inside. But if I hold this position, fingers interlocked, thumbs can just be free. And then I just continue to breathe and pay attention to the body. Then from here, this slightly unusual hand position, essentially from the interlocked fingers, I pull the middle finger up and touch the tops of the middle fingers together like so, so that they're upright, and take the thumbs and I interlock them, or I touch them together like a circle. Yeah, so I have this position, and then it takes a little bit of practice, a bit fiddly, and then I place it back in front of the dantian. And this position helps anchor the lung qi to the perineum and the kidney qi. Okay, it connects them all together. Another time maybe I'll explain in more detail about these hand shapes, but for now we're just focused on paying attention to the body, breathing, and allowing the exercise to do its work. And last position. Take your palms, place them on the knees, facing up. Obviously if you're sat in a chair you can just place them in your lap. The palms are open to the sky. This time it's a little different because I don't just pay attention and listen to the body and allow it to breathe of its own accord. Now what I'm going to do is take deep breaths in and out through the nose. Not too forcefully, but just comfortably, like a great sort of in and out breath of relief, I guess. Just filling the body with air. Try not to breathe high into the chest. Just fill the lungs, and we'll just sit and breathe like this, nice and comfortably, nice and long, deep breaths for a couple of minutes. Okay, then take the hands, turn them over on the knees, and just twist the spine a few times. Just mobilizing the body a little after our practice. And turn the head. And then conclude your practice. So if you wish to combine this with the massage of the kidneys and across the eyes and down the head, you can, like is common after seated Qigong or alchemy practice, but it's up to you, it doesn't matter. I put this practice session at just 20 minutes, roughly, give or take. So not too long, so you can just follow through it in little sessions. But of course, if you have more time and you start to find it something that is useful, that is nourishing you, then feel free to take those sits in the different positions, which were at about 3 minutes, and extend them out to 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you want to, it doesn't matter, and just make this practice as long as you have comfortable time for. But 20 minutes is okay, little bursts, especially if you're very, very exhausted. Don't push it. After you finish your practice, warm water, drink down to just help nourish the body. Don't put any tea in it or flavorings, because they all have an effect. Just pure warm water. Just drink it, let it go through the body, and then just move around a little bit, walk or stretch or whatever you want to do. Nothing too much. Don't push the body. Remember, you're in recovery, and in recovery we don't want to break down, we want to build up. So we want to keep that in mind with all of our exercises. So this sequence is very gentle, just designed to build the body up. Once you start to get a little bit stronger, if you find this helps, if it's something that's useful, then feel free to add in some other practice, maybe the Huiqian for the kidneys or the spleen, and anchor in the breath practice, just to help nourish those organs. The kidneys and the spleen are really going to help with the recovery of the body's energy. You'll find those other videos on my YouTube channel as well, so they're available for you, and hopefully this helps.